My man. Woo! My man. Welcome, bro. Listen, man, bro, I'm excited, bro. I'm excited because the fact that you went through module 1, you discovered your why. Once you discovered your why, you discovered your clarity. Listen to me. Bro, your clarity, it fuels your energy. Everything now becomes crystal clear. I now know what I should be doing with my life. Now I can live a life fulfilled. I can live a life with clarity. I can live a life where I wake up in the morning knowing this is what I should be doing with my life. Like, bro, the moment you went through module 1, you did the work, you don't got to second guess anything else, bro. This is all you got to do, baby. Now that you discovered your why. Now we get to develop the playbook. How? We get now into the real nitty gritty of developing, watch this, module 2, develop cyclicity. What is cyclicity? Cyclicity is just a fancy word for cycle, right? Now we're in the development stage. We were in the discovery phase. Now we're in the development. Now, bro, we're going to really develop the things that you need to develop in order to dominate your 20s. All right. So here it is. Here's the first lesson in module 2. This is lesson 6. This lesson is about vision. Now, here is the working definition for us today. Vision is a measurable outcome. Vision is a measurable outcome. What's an example of that? Let's talk about physically, all right? You cannot say, I want to have a better body. What does that look like? You can't say, I want to be a millionaire. What does that look like? You can't say, I want to have a better marriage. What does that look like, right? Vision is a measurable outcome. Vision. We're talking about clarity. We know your why. We're clear on what you need to do. We have a clear idea and picture. Your energy is fueled. I want to do this with my life. I know what I need to do with my life, but we have to have a clear vision, and the vision needs to be clearly articulated. What is a vision? A measurable outcome. What does that look like? You can't say, I want to have the body of an athlete. You got to say, I want to gain 15 pounds of muscle mass. I want my body fat percentage to be down to 30%. That's measurable. If you say, I want to gain 15 pounds of muscle mass, you now are able to track the metrics. You're able to track your progress so that if by December, at the end of the year, that's when you want to achieve that vision, you can track it from January to December. Okay, by January, I put on 1 pound of muscle mass. By July, I put on 7 pounds of muscle mass, right? You can track it. And the purpose of vision is so that you can measure the progress. Does that make sense right now? So watch this. Your why, remember, your why influences every area of your life. So you got to have a why for your why do you want to be financially successful? And the same 7-layer deep assessment that we did for your why, you got to do it for every area. Yes. You got to do it, bro, for every area of your life. Because why do you want to be a millionaire? Why? We got to find out why. Why do you want to lose weight? Why? Right? Why do you want to have a better marriage? Why? Right? Personally, why do you want to stop watching porn? Why? Right? Whatever the why, whatever the thing is, you got to have a why. It needs to be clearly articulated. And once you have your why, all right, my vision. I want to stop watching pornography by the end of the year. Okay. That means the measurable outcome is by the end of the year. You got a year's time to stop watching porn. You got a year's time to stop being addicted to pornography. You can measure that. You can measure that, right? You can measure. Am I making sense right now? You can measure that. Why? Because a lack of vision leads to wasted energy. So here's what I want you to do. You got to write it down. Every area of life. This is what my vision is, and it's measurable. Now, why is this important that we do this? I want you to imagine with me that you're on a train. Imagine with me that you're on a train. And you realize that the train you got on is going in the wrong direction. Hear me out, bro. The longer you take to get off that train, the further you get from your desired destination. But the longer you take to get off that train, the more it's going to cost you to get to your desired destination. And right now, my brother, I'm not talking about trains. I'm talking about you. If you don't have a clearly articulated vision that's a measurable outcome for your life, you're going to be in the train of life, moving, going somewhere, but it's not where you want to go. It's not where you need to be. And the longer you take to get off that train, the more it's going to cost you on the return trip back. So I need you to run the play. Every area of your life, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, relationally, financially. These are the 6 areas for every man. Did I say spiritually? I'm going to do that again. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Yes, I did. Relationally, financially. These are the 6 areas of every man's life. Every 20-year-old needs to win in these areas. You got, what is my vision physically? My vision physically, right? I want to walk between 150 and 160 pounds. I want my body fat to be 20%. I want to be able to do 25 pull-ups nonstop. That's my vision. That's measurable. I can now measure every month, every week, how am I getting there? Emotionally, I want to measure. I want to be able to clearly articulate to my wife and to my friends what's hidden inside of me. And I want to do that by the end of the year. I can measure those things. I can measure it by how I'm doing every month, and I can measure by feedback, right? That's data. You can measure that kind of stuff, right? Spiritually, I want to spend 1 hour with God at 5 a.m. every day uninterrupted. I can measure that. I can measure my time with God. I can measure how many hours I need of sleep. I can measure at what time I need to go to sleep so I can get quality sleep so I can wake up with God at 5 a.m. You can measure that kind of, does that make sense? Mentally, I want to read 5 books in the year, or better yet, I want to read 3 books and apply the information that I read from those books in 1 year of my living. I can measure that. I can measure whether I applied it. You can measure those financially, right? I want to bring down my credit card debt from 6,000 to 0 by the end of the year. Okay, well, every month I got to put in X amount of dollars to bring down my credit card debt, right? You can measure that stuff. Does that make sense, bro? Come on. Does that make sense? I need you to write down every area of your life. Measure the vision. This is what I want to do. This is when I want to do it. This is the time frame in which I want to do it. These are the number of things I want to accomplish. Write the vision for every area of your life. Once you do that, bro, you're ready for the next step. I'm going to see you later. Lesson 7. Let's go, boy. Let's go.